and let some folks in. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our July Food Assistance Provider Call. We'll get started in just a couple minutes. We'll give some folks just a little bit of time to jump on and join us in our Zoom room. So give us a second. So thanks everyone for joining. I see Heaven, who's helping with the chat and notes today from my team. She just dropped the link to today's agenda in the chat. So if you didn't get a chance to look at that in advance, please check that out. And for all of our presenters today, I've updated our settings so you'll be able to share your screen when it comes time to do that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I see a few more folks have joined us. For those of you who are just jumping on, please check out the agenda, and Heaven, maybe you can drop that link again in the chat in case some folks missed it. So again, thank you so much for being here today. This is our July Food Assistance Provider Call. I know I see a lot of friendly faces, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Julia Grenfelt, and I work with the Prince George's County Food Equity Council, and we are a local food policy council in Prince George's County. So I pulled up the agenda on my screen so y'all can see what we're going to be talking about today. So let me just scroll down so you can see this. 1 second. Okay, so just so you know, and you definitely got a notification when you jumped on, but we are recording today's call. So we'll be sharing this out with anyone who misses it and kind of wider through our email listserv. So for today's call, we have a host of presenters and we'll be talking about federal nutrition programs, updates, and resources. Before I jump into our great lineup of speakers today, I'm just going to cover some background information on our call and kind of highlights from our previous calls, as well as some updates and an upcoming meeting that we have scheduled. So as we get started, I would love for you all to start dropping in your name and your organization in the chat, and also a brief icebreaker if you'll indulge me. So my icebreaker question is, can you share the best donated food item you've received for your distribution in the chat? So this is kind of geared towards our food assistance providers. If you are not a food assistance provider and this does not apply to you, please just share your favorite summer fruit or vegetable. So this is just a way that we can get to know each other and get to know who's in our Zoom room today. We have kind of a pretty big call, so we're not going to have a chance for everyone to introduce themselves individually. So for anyone who might be new here, if this is your first time joining these calls, I'm so happy to have you on, so happy that you could be here today. So these calls have been happening for almost, I guess, 2.5 years now. So judging by how long we've been running, hopefully this means that we're doing something right, that we're actually providing some valuable information and resources to help you all do the important work that you do. So really, these calls are an opportunity to ensure food assistance providers have up-to-date information and resources and best practices available to support the work that you do. We also hope to identify any gaps in services and target resources specifically to any underserved communities. And then we also seek to address kind of needs and next steps to collectively work together to kind of support capacity among the food assistance providers that are on these calls that are within our network. So some of the things that we do, as you know, we host these monthly calls. We also host kind of individual ad hoc resource meetings occasionally. We have a Google group where we share information out to our food assistance providers. I share our weekly food assistance updates. We'll sometimes share opportunities for food distributions. So any kind of available food that we may be in contact with. So all of those kind of platforms are ways that you can have more information and kind of be connected within this food assistance provider network. And then we also have a listserv where we send out information and resources about these calls and our call notes. So that kind of leads me to jump to our last call. So our last call, our June call, was focused on Project Dash, which is DoorDash's free delivery program. We also had some updates on school meals. And then we also had an overview of Find Help, which is a really, really great platform that hosts a ton of different resources. So I encourage you to check that out. It's a really great way to learn about and of different programs happening in the county. If you have clients that are in need of services, you can use that to help them access any kind of social services resources. So you can kind of specifically look for different resources like food or housing within a specific zip code. So with that, what we're really hoping that you will all do is actually sign up your program on that platform. So to do this, we're going to be hosting a follow-up call on June 22nd at 10 a.m. So this will be a joint call with ourselves as well as Find Help to actually help you all sign up your program on Find Help to be listed there. So if anyone is looking for food assistance in your area, they'll be able to log on and see where your food distribution is happening and find updated information. If you are interested in joining this kind of workshop call on July 22nd. I see I wrote June 22nd, July 22nd. Please register here. And I'll be sharing more information about that via email. So let me just update this in real time. So again, it's July 22nd. So with that, I know the reason we're all here is to hear about federal nutrition programs and resources. So we have a host of amazing speakers today who have been gracious enough to join us and share their expertise. So we're going to be hearing a little bit about Pandemic Electronic Benefit Transfer Program, which is called P-EBT. So Augustine actually will be our first presenter. We had a little bit of a switch with our lineup due to a scheduling conflict. So then we're going to be hearing about the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, from Ignatius. Then we'll hear about the Women, Infant, and Children Program, also known as WIC, with Ernest. And then we'll have an update on Maryland Market Money with Christina. Following that, we'll have some advocacy updates. We'll have some SNAP advocacy updates from JD Robinson from Maryland Hunger Solutions. And then we always close out with community announcements or anything else you all have to share, and we'll be sure to wrap up by 2 p.m. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and hand it off to Augustine for the first presentation.
Thank you very much, Julie. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be invited to what seems to be a wonderful group. I love to talk about food security or food insecurity. That's very important work that you do, and I know that many of you on the call are already partners with DHS. So I feel like I'm in a very good company this afternoon. Let me share my screen here. I'm here to talk about pandemic EBT or P-EBT. However, I do want to touch on a few other programs so that the comprehensive programming that we offer to our customers to address food insecurity. So again, I'm Augustine Nalaganimana. I'm the Deputy Executive for Programs for the Family Investment Administration. We basically administer most safety net programs for the state of Maryland. Many of you know this Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, as the primary program addressing food insecurity. But that is only one tool in the toolbox, if you will. We have a host of other programs. Again, I will be talking about one of them today, which is Pandemic EBT. But we also have Summer SNAP. The Summer SNAP Act, which passed in the Maryland legislature in 2019, allows us to provide benefits to school children who are unable to access free school meals because they are on vacation and not on the ground at school. So that program started as a very small program, about $200,000 a year, and that is the minimum required appropriation under the legislation. However, I'm happy to report that that program has expanded to actually over $10 million. Governor Hogan did decide to allocate about $4.8 million for state fiscal year 2023, and several counties decided to provide local funding, local share of funds above the minimum requirement. And so that's why the program really went from being a relatively small program to serving around 4,200 children a year to now about over 100,000 children. So that we project will receive some benefits, some SNAP benefits this year. We do work with we do fund Capital Area Food Bank and Maryland Food Bank to distribute federal food commodities under the TFAP program, or TFAP stands for the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and is federally funded as well. So many of the emergency food the individuals who are in need to receive through the food banks are a part of the TFAP program. We do have other smaller programs, mostly focused on the specialty nutrition for vulnerable population, people who have a cancer or HIV. We fund those programs through Food and Friends, as well as Movable Feast, the Salvation Army, and other small organizations. I wanted to make sure that I know those as well. But we're here to talk about P-EBT, so let me kind of jump right in there. As you might already know, P-EBT, or Pandemic EBT, was established in March 2020 as part of the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. And then the program was expanded in December through one of the continuing budget resolutions to include SNAP enrolled children under 6, what they call the child care provision. Okay. Again, the program was designed to provide food assistance to children who are no longer able to access free or reduced price school meals due to the pandemic. Again, at the time, most of the schools were closing their doors completely due to the pandemic, but the program exists until today. So in year one, so again, that's in 2020, we were able to issue benefits to almost every child who was eligible to participate in the National School Lunch Program and was either receiving school meals prior to the school closures, or was attending a community provision school or CEP school. The program has changed over time to reflect the improvement in the health in the pandemic health situation, and so we continue to issue benefits, but much to a much smaller population, because particularly this year, because kids have since returned. Most kids have since returned to in-person instructions, and they are able to access full school meals. So under the school year 2021 through 22, the P-EBT benefits are only available to children who had COVID-related absences, or children who are participating in the fully remote programs that were established by the local education agencies as a result of COVID-19. That's very important, because I will share numbers later in the presentation. But what this really means is that last year we issued the benefits to about 465,000 school children. This year, only 144,000 are eligible under the current the school year plan, under the plan of the school year that just ended. Okay. Under the summer P-EBT plan, we'll be able to issue this year. We'll be able to issue benefits to all children who were eligible to participate in the to receive free or reduced price school meals, including those 100, all the children in the CP schools. What is good about the summer P-EBT benefits is that our plan does include benefits for SNAP enrolled children under 6, whereas the current school year plan did not include the children under the age of 6. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, so in terms of how many children are eligible to receive P-EBT benefits for the school year that just ended, again, is 144,549 individual children, compared to about 465 last year. So there's a significant reduction. What is also important to note, while the 465,000 last year pretty much received continuous benefits for the entire school year, for this year, the 144,000, they are not all going to receive consecutive benefits. So they might be eligible for benefits because in 1 month, because they had COVID-related absences, and but do not receive benefit for another month because they were back in school, right? So out of the 144 on average, based on the data we have already received from the local school systems, roughly anywhere between 46,000 to 55,000 children are eligible to receive benefits in any given month. So the 144 is a duplicate count of children eligible throughout the school year. And hopefully that makes sense. But if you have any questions, I'll be able to explain. For summer, for benefits under the summer plan, it is much more expensive. So about 565,000 children will receive benefits. And that includes both school children as well as about 75,000 SNAP enrolled children under the age of 6. So how will benefits be issued? A lot more complex than years past. So a child who has COVID-related absences, 1 to 5 days COVID-related absences in a given month, they will receive $21.30. And those in a tier B, so with those with the 6 to 15 days absences in any given month, they will receive $71, and those within a tier C, so meaning they had 16 or more absences in a given month, they will receive the full benefit for the month, which is $127.80. Summer benefits are much easier to calculate. So everyone who is eligible will receive $391, and the benefit will be issued in 2 equal installments of $195.50 each with each issuance. So when will benefits be issued? So our school plan was approved in late May, and we began collecting the data from local school systems. We received the data last month from MSDE, and we are processing those issuances for the months of September through February. Those benefits are being actually issued tomorrow. So, and then benefits for the months of March through June, they will be issued next month, and then next month we also issue the first installment of summer P-EBT benefits. September we issue the second installment of summer P-EBT benefits, and then in October we issue summer P-EBT benefits for children who are determined eligible for free school meals over the summer. So under federal law, we are able to issue benefits to children who are not who might not have been eligible for school meals last school year, but if they apply and were approved to participate in a program over the summer, we'll be able to issue summer P-EBT benefits retroactively. Okay. So as you can imagine, summer P-EBT benefits go to our traditional population, which is our SNAP population, as well as in families that have historically not interacted with DHS. And so communication can sometimes be complicated. So we do have a comprehensive strategy to reach everyone. So each customer who is eligible will receive a notice letting them know that they are eligible for benefits, and when they receive benefits, and how to activate a P-EBT card, and everything that they need to know. But we also have a dedicated P-EBT webpage. So that's dhs.maryland.gov/P-EBT, and it has a lot of details in terms of the program. And I can tell you, over the last 2.5 years, this has been our most popular, our most visited page on our webpage.
We're going to have to start wrapping up in just a minute, so we'll have time for our other speakers.
Understood. Yeah, this is my last slide. So in terms of the, we use email communication as well to communicate important details. We have a customer inquiry form, which is a preferred method of reaching out to us with any P-EBT related questions. P-EBT benefits are issued on a P-EBT card for everyone. The good news here is that about 82% of recipients for this year's benefits have an existing P-EBT card, so benefits will be issued on those cards. And then individuals who no longer have their cards, they will receive a card. They can request a new card to be issued to them. And those who never received P-EBT cards before, we are mailing them a new card. So I will stop here and see what questions you have for me.
Great, thank you so much. This was really informative, and I wish we had a little bit more time. But I've dropped the link to the website, which I encourage everyone to check out. It's very informative, as well as the hotline number. So let's just take 1 minute if anyone has any burning questions for Augustine before we jump to our next presentation. So one question in the chat, could you clarify the summer SNAP benefits and P-EBT? I guess, are they all issued together?
Okay, yes, so different programs, but yes, they're being issued concurrently. So we issued summer SNAP benefits. I think, don't come in the date, but it was in mid-June. so those have already gone out. So there are individuals who are receiving both P-EBT benefits, summer P-EBT benefits as well as summer SNAP.
Great, thank you so much.
Okay,
so we're going to jump to our next presentation. Augustine, thank you so much for sharing this. If it's okay, I would love to be able to share the slides out with our call notes following the presentation, because I think there's a lot of great content that folks might want to look at a bit more in depth after the call. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Ignatius to talk a little bit about the SNAP Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And we can see the slides. This looks great.
Good afternoon, everybody. And once again, thank you so much for the opportunity to present to this group. I participate in this meeting most months when I'm able to. Give me 1 second, please. All right, my name is Ignatius Iwala. I am the Assistant Director for the Farm Investment Division with the Prince George's County Department of Social Services. My division administers the income support programs for the county residents, and this includes the Cash Assistance Program, Medicaid, and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. This afternoon, my presentation is going to focus on the SNAP program. SNAP is the largest federal nutrition assistance program in the nation. It helps low-income households buy the food that they need for good health. Eligible households receive their benefits through the electronic benefits card. They will exchange the card at grocery stores for food. Applicants must file an application, be interviewed, and meet all financial and technical eligibility factors prior to the issuance of benefits. Technical factors of eligibility includes identity, residency, social security number, citizenship status, or alien status. Then when it comes to financial, we look at the earned income and the unearned income that's in the household. With the earned income, you're looking at wages, self-employment. On earned income, we look at things like social security benefits, pension, unemployment benefit, VA benefit, whatever the household is eligible for. There are several ways to apply for the SNAP program, but mainly four ways: online at the MyMDThink application portal. You can also apply by mail. Our mailing address is 805 Bryce Road. You can apply in person or drop off your application in person. We have 3 district offices that are strategically located around the county. In the northern part of the county is the Hyattsville office. The central part is the Landover office. Then the southern part of the county is the Temple Hills office. If you're not able to submit your application online or by mail or in person, we also have an email option. Each of these district offices have a dedicated email address where you can submit your application through that email, and then we'll retrieve it and process it. When an application is filed, there are required verifications. You have to be a resident of Maryland to be eligible for SNAP in Maryland. Residency verification is required only if it is questionable. Identity verification is required. Identity does not mean the photo ID. There are several documents that can be used to verify identity. Very rarely do we deny an application because a household does not verify the identity, because it's easy to verify. Social security number. Every SNAP applicant or recipient must have a social security number. If you don't have a number or you forgot the number, the individual will be required to apply for the number. The application will be processed while the number, they are waiting to receive their number. Household composition verification is only required if it is questionable. Immigration status the same. Then when it comes to income, gross non-excludable income is required verification. We have tools that we use to assist applicants to verify their income, but unfortunately, we're not able to verify our earned income. The following verifications are optional: the shelter costs, childcare deductions, medical expenses for elderly or disabled household members. What optional verifications means is that if you do not provide these verifications, your application will not be denied. However, you will not get credit for paying those expenses. If you do not receive a credit, that could also lead to the household being overscheduled for the benefit. In addition, receiving the credit will enable the household to receive additional allotment that they would have received otherwise. It's always to the household's advantage to verify these elements. Time frame to apply for SNAP. Under normal processing, we have up to 30 days to process a SNAP application. Again, it doesn't mean that we will hold the application for 30 days. It simply means we can process it from day one up to 30 days. On the average, we process applications about 15 days from the date of application. If a household is unable to provide their verification within 30 days, then we will process that application. We'll allow additional time up to 60 days to provide that verification so that we can process the application. However, if a household provides their verification after the 30th day but before the 60th day, their benefits are prorated, so they will lose some benefits there. Household that meets the requirement for expedited SNAP will receive their benefit within 7 days. And that requirement is if their gross income is less than $150 or their liquid resources less than $100, they will be expeditable. Another group that's expeditable is if the combined gross income of the household is less than the liquid resources. I'm sorry, the combined income and the liquid resources are less than the shelter expenses of the household. They will be expeditable. And by the 7th day or the 30th day means that the benefit will be available on their EBT card, ready to be used by that day. Maximum allotment. This initiative enables households who are eligible for SNAP to receive the maximum allotment for their household size. This is tied to the public health emergency. So the maximum allotment for the household are listed here. And what it means, I'm going to use one household size as an example. A household size of 4. If that household was eligible for $50, just the fact that they were eligible for SNAP, they will be receiving the maximum for the household size, which will be $835. So instead of getting $50, they're getting $835. When this initiative ends, then the households will revert back to receiving what they were eligible to receive. Able-bodied adult without dependents, their work requirement is currently suspended while we are under the public health emergency or waived. What this means is that benefits received do not count towards the 3 free months for able to receive benefits. This able requirement at this point is scheduled to resume October 2022 unless the waiver is extended. Expanded use of telephone interviews. Again, interviews required for application of recertification. The default method for conducting interviews for SNAP benefits is telephone. If a household does not have a telephone, then we will schedule the appointment, the interview appointment in person in the offices. A household who has a telephone, if they prefer to have an in-person appointment, they will need to let us know. We will also schedule that. Our offices are open and we are seeing customers. Our business hours are from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. every business day. We are open for business. Simplify reporting. Households with income at or below 130% federal poverty line are required to report changes only during their scheduled recertifications. If their income is above 130%, they are required to report changes within 10 days. Then when ABOD is reinstated, ABOD households are required to report when their work hours fall below 20 hours per week or 80 hours per month. You might ask, how will a household know if their income is within the 130% FPL? That information is printed on their approval notices. Again, we have online access. It's really the best way to access our services, both SNAP and anything else on the program that we run. The web address is mymdating.maryland.gov. It will require the customer to create an account with an email address, and if they do so, they can apply for benefits. They can actually even start an application. If they want to finish it, they can come back and continue from where they stop and then submit it at their convenience. They can report the change, they can submit verifications, submit recertification, check their case status at any time. Every time a notice is sent to them, they will get a copy of it. Also, when there's a change in their case, they will receive notices through every household that's receiving assistance from social services. If they have an online account, it will be very, very helpful for them. Also, we have computer labs at our offices. If the household doesn't have technology challenge, they can come to our offices and use our computers and also receive assistance there, help navigating. Prince George's County Department of Social Services recently launched the Office of Food Security. This office is charged with identifying gaps, strategizing solutions, increasing partnership, and maximizing opportunities for supply chain security and stability. Then Summer SNAP program. Augustine mentioned the Summer SNAP program, but I'm going to go a little bit in detail. I hope I have a few minutes to do this. We're going to take me about 45 minutes. Okay,
yeah, we're running a little bit behind, so hopefully we can wrap it up in the next minute or so.
Okay. Like he said, the legislation was signed in 2019. The program was intended to address the food insecurity that exists during the summer and winter months when school meals disappear. This is usually for the students that are eligible for free or reduced school meals. So when school closes, they don't have access to those meals. The program provides participating children $30 in SNAP benefits for June, July, and August, and $10 in December to address the winter months. During year 1 and year 2, the funding for the entire state was $200,000. In year 3, the governor expanded it to 4.8 million. So a lot more children are eligible for under the year 3. Each jurisdiction has to apply to participate. Prince George's County, by the way, has participated since the program was implemented. A local share fund is required, so there is a matching fund that the county have to provide. For this year, because of the increased funding, the local share fund also increased. Our county executive was able to identify $250,000 for the local share fund that we used to match what the state gave us. And she really did this in a span of 2 weeks so that we can maximize the number of children that's eligible for the benefits. So for year 1 and year 2, under this program, we were able to serve 667 children. For year 3, this current year, we are going to serve 10,833 children for a total of $1.1 million. As of April of 2022, there were 46,700 children that are potentially eligible. So you might ask, how do we, because the program cannot serve all of them, we can only do 10,800. How do we identify the people that are eligible? So this is our selection criteria here. We ensure that all children who are unhoused receive the benefit. Also, we targeted children that are in households who live on fixed income, such as SSI, SSDI, as well as TCA households. these children were priorities. Then the remaining children, so that we can reach our 10,800, we targeted 2 zip codes, 20783 and 20785. We selected the children at random from these 2 zip codes. How do we pick the zip codes? These are the zip codes in the county with the highest percentage of children who are eligible to receive free or reduced school meals. Usually that's a sign of concentration of poverty. Summer SNAP benefits are issued on the head of household EBT card. Okay, that concludes my presentation. My name again is Ignatius Iwala. This is my contact information. Open for questions.
Great, thank you so much. And sorry to rush you through this. I wish we had a little bit more time. Does anyone have any questions before we jump to the next speaker? Okay, I see one in the chat. Can you give examples of what makes immigration status of non-citizen applicants questionable? Also, if person isn't applying for themselves, only applying for their children, for example, and they've selected undocumented immigrant as status for themselves, would that be sufficient to communicate status?
The citizenship or immigration verification applies only to the individuals that will receive this SNAP. So an undocumented adult may apply for the assistance for the household members, whether they're adult or children that are documented. So being undocumented doesn't impact the eligibility of the remaining household members. As to whether it is questionable or not, unfortunately, the way the program is structured, if someone is not a citizen, we have to verify their immigration status, and they choose to apply for themselves or to verify the immigration status, but making sure that they have a green card, or they're refugees or asylees or other categories. By the way, before I round up, I just want to make this statement here. The information I presented is not intended to determine eligibility as to who is eligible or who is not eligible for SNAP benefits. The best way for anyone to find out whether they're eligible is to apply. When an application is submitted, a well-trained case managers will review it, look at the household unique circumstances, and apply the program regulations to determine their eligibility.
Great, thank you. And I just have a super quick question, and maybe this is something that can be shared later, but do you have a list, or does anyone know of a list of organizations that are equipped to help folks apply for SNAP? Because I know there are quite a few organizations in the county, and I would love to be able to have that list, because I know we receive requests quite a bit from folks that are looking to kind of refer clients to those other organizations.
Yeah, there are SNAP outreach partners, Hunger Solutions. They're on this call here is one of them. Maryland Benefit Trust is another. There is a list on the DHS website. I'm not quite sure it includes everyone, but at least that can be a start.
Okay, maybe we can share that in the chat afterwards. Okay, perfect. And I see Andrea added the list. Okay, so with that, thank you so much for your presentation. Hopefully, again, we can also share these slides out with everyone on this call in case they missed anything. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Ernest Lee to talk about the Women, Infant, and Children program, also known as WIC.
Okay, sound test. Do you hear me?
Sounds good.
Okay, and then I'm going to share a screen here. Hang on a second. And nope, that's not what I wanted. Okay, share screen. And here we go. Let's see. Okay, do you see this presentation?
Looks perfect.
Okay, great. So my name is Ernest Lay. I am the program analyst for Maryland WIC. And I always like to give a preview of what I'm going to be talking about whenever I do a presentation. I have a lot of practice doing this, so I'm going to get through it in about 10 minutes. You can go ahead and set a timer and watch me. So in this presentation, I will be telling you about what is WIC, who gets WIC, and how does somebody use WIC. So let's get started, starting with what is WIC. It stands for the Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children. And it was started as a pilot back in 1972, became permanent in 1975. In Maryland, WIC serves over 140,000 individuals every year. And we'll talk about exactly who gets WIC in just a moment. But first, let's talk about what WIC provides. So we're known as the program that provides supplemental food. I am glad to see a presentation by folks from SNAP, because one thing that many people don't know is that you can receive SNAP and WIC at the same time. In fact, if you are eligible for one, you're eligible for the other. And that can make things a lot easier for people applying. But in addition to our supplemental foods, we also provide nutrition education, breastfeeding support, and health screening and referrals. I'll talk about those coming right up, but let's start with the foods. So the food that WIC provides is meant to be supplemental. What that means is that it's not meant to meet all of a family's nutritional needs. That is what SNAP is for. But what we provide is foods that have been reviewed by nutritionists to make sure they meet the nutritional needs of growing children. And so only certain items are allowed for WIC foods. And you see some of them here. They have to be whole grains, for example, beans, cereals that are whole grain that don't have any sugar added, fresh fruits and vegetables, things like that. Also infant formula. That has been in the news a lot. And yes, we have had to deal with that issue. And if you have any questions about that, I'll be glad to answer those. But so we provide supplemental foods. In addition to that, we also provide breastfeeding support. So usually an appointment with a lactation counselor costs quite a lot of money, but we provide it for free because, it's good for children, and it's a way for mothers to bond with their children. I, of course, do not breastfeed anybody, but it's something that we all get behind, and we all provide support to our new mothers so that they can breastfeed. We also provide nutrition education. So this is actually something that is required when somebody is participating in WIC. If they are receiving benefits from us, they must also undergo nutrition education. Everything from how to cook foods to how to persuade your kids to eat vegetables, what vitamin C is, what iron does for your health, all that kind of thing. These classes can be taken in person or online, and they're required to be done every quarter. And then finally, this is a big part of our business. WIC provides screening and referrals. So these are whenever we are talking to somebody and we think that there is a service that we need, we can provide a referral to other organizations such as Medicaid or SNAP or housing assistance. The Tobacco Quit line is a very popular one. And as you see over there in the bullet point, we provided over 395,000 referrals in 2020. I don't think we have the numbers for 2021, or I wasn't able to find them just yet. But a big part of our business is not just giving out food, but also referring to other organizations to make sure that our participants get the help that they need. So for your purposes here in Prince George's County, what you should know is that WIC is a federal program, and it's run by each of the states and territories. Now, I work for the state Maryland Department of Health, but the actual WIC clinic is run by local agencies. And in Prince George's County, it's run by 3 different agencies. I will talk about that a little bit later. But one thing that is important for you to know is that WIC has been very widely studied, and it has led to a lot of improved outcomes, such as 24% fewer low birth weight deliveries and 55% fewer very low birth weight deliveries. Also lower incidence of preterm births, lower incidence of iron deficiency anemia. Benefits of WIC have also lasted into the school years. So children whose mothers were on WIC have been found to read better in school. So if you want to get more information, there's that website for you to take a look. All right, so let's talk about eligibility criteria. There are 4 kinds of eligibility criteria for Maryland WIC. There's categorical, residential, income, and nutritional. So category just means like what is the person. So there is WIC is for pregnant women, also postpartum or breastfeeding women. WIC is also for infants. An infant is anybody under age 1. And WIC is also for children up to age 5. I know I'm zooming past these a little fast and you're not able to read through everything, but that's okay. You just need to know if you are talking to somebody in the course of your work and it is a pregnant woman or a woman who has recently given birth, or it is somebody who has children under age 5, then they're probably eligible for WIC and you should send them our way. Now, the residential requirement just means that they have to live in Maryland and they need to provide proof of that. The income requirement is very similar to SNAP in a lot of ways because it is a number that changes depending on the size of your family. Now, in determining income is always a tricky process. So people often ask me, okay, can I qualify for WIC if I earn $20,000 or if I earn $33,000? And I always tell them, don't make any assumptions. Come to us, let us figure it out. There's all kinds of income that has to be accounted for and then, or not accounted for. And just let us figure that out because that is what has to happen anyway. There has to be a certification process. And to participate in WIC, there also must be an assessed nutritional risk. Now, these are anything from obesity, nutritional deficiency, difficulty with finding appropriate foods, anything like that. This is something that you really shouldn't worry about because 97% of people who meet the other criteria like income and so forth would also meet a nutritional need. And so again, let us figure that out. Okay, so you've met somebody, you think that they would qualify for WIC, you think they would need WIC. How do you get them to actually access WIC benefits? How do you make a referral? Well, so like I said, the actual WIC clinics are run by a bunch of local agencies. Here you can see a map of Maryland with each of the local agencies, and we're going to zoom in a little bit. Here is Prince George's County. So there are 10 clinic locations throughout Prince George's County, and they are run by 3 different local agencies. That one is the Prince George's County Health Department, and there's a phone number there. In Greenbelt, their clinic is run by an organization called CCI, and then Greater Baden Medical also runs clinics in Prince George's County. So the way to make a referral to WIC is really just give one of these phone numbers out, or go to mdwic.org, or send them to me, and I'll show some email addresses, and I'll make sure that they're taken care of. We really want to make this easy, so we don't have any kind of like there's a standardized form that you're required or anything like that. Send them to us any way that you can. We also get people through social media, and that's totally fine. And we'll take care of them from there. We do quite a lot of business, not quite as much as SNAP, but we still serve a little over 180,000 individuals per year. Okay. You know what? I'm going to skip straight through this one. This is just talking about the fact that at a WIC appointment, we do a nutrition and health assessment. Okay, there we go. And so WIC benefits are issued on a card, much like the SNAP EBT card. There is also a EBT card for WIC. And one thing you might like to know is that there is also a mobile app for WIC so that people can use it to find their stores and clinics. They can actually use it to scan a barcode in the grocery store to see if that is an item that is WIC approved. They can use it to access their online nutrition education. They can look up their balances, all kinds of things like that. It's been very popular with our participants. And one thing also to understand is that benefits are issued month by month. So use it or lose it. You get your benefits on, whatever the time period is for the month. And then you have until, if you got your benefits issued on the 15th, let's say, you would have until the 15th the next month in order to use all of those benefits. So you should encourage all of your clients to make sure to do that. And one thing we often tell people is make sure that children stay on WIC up until age 5. We try to make it as easy as possible, and that maximizes their nutritional benefits. So with that being said, here is my contact information. And Julia was saying that she'd like to share PowerPoint slides, and certainly I can do that. I will send those to you a little after this presentation. But there's my contact information, and I will be happy to take any of your questions.
Great. Thank you so much for keeping on time. I really appreciate this informative presentation. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat or take yourself off mute. We're definitely running behind, so we're trying to squeeze in as much as possible. I do know that there is one question in the chat already about formula, which is the big question of the time. So how to kind of access formula and whether there are any resources you can provide to food assistance providers that are getting requests from their clients.
So this unfortunately is an issue that we don't have a great answer to, because WIC does not manufacture formula themselves. So we're at the mercy of the supply chain, just like everybody else. I would say one thing we do know is that your local WIC agency often has a pretty good idea of which stores have formula available, because we can track that with our EBT cards. So I would say if somebody is looking for formula, first of all, ask them if they're on WIC, because if they are, they should contact the clinic, and then the clinic may have an idea of where they can go to get the formula that they need. I have also seen that in our data that it's becoming easier to get formula now that factory is back online. The general formula is usually available. It's specialty formulas like sensitive stomach formula that is a little bit harder to get. But unfortunately, I don't have really a better answer than that for you.
Great, thank you very much. And I see another question in the chat, which Ernest, maybe you could just respond via the chat to Sarah's question.
Sure.
We can move along to our other presenters. So just before we switch over to Christina, and thank you again, Ernest, for all this information. I really appreciate you being here. If anyone needs to jump right at 2 p.m., I don't want to hold you, so just know that we are recording today's call and we'll be sharing this out with anyone afterwards. So we are going to go about 5 minutes over, but if you do need to leave us, thank you for being here, and check out the recording for anything missed. Okay, so Christina, I'm going to pass it to you to share a little bit about Maryland Market Money.
Great. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Sounds
Cool. Okay. So hi, I'm Christina Berthelot. I'm with SMATIC, the Southern Maryland Agricultural Development Commission. I'm here today to talk to you about Maryland Market Money, specifically in Prince George's County. A lot of you are probably familiar with this, but just in case you aren't, I'm gonna have a little overview. So let's see. So Maryland Market Money is a statewide food access program that feeds Maryland families and supports farmers. We remove economic barriers for Marylanders experiencing food insecurity by providing a dollar-for-dollar match for purchases. And these are purchases made with federal nutrition benefits, which you've just learned a lot about at participating farmers markets, farm stands, and CSAs. So matching, right? So big news as of July, or we started to kind of soft roll it out last month, but we're happy to announce now that MMM can offer an unlimited dollar for dollar match at all of our food access points. And this means like if they spend $1, they get $1 right back. There's no cap. These benefits include SNAP and P-EBT, the EWIC, and also Farmers Market Nutrition Program, which wasn't discussed here today, but they are for seniors and also for WIC participants. And it's a $35, like it looks like a check. They get a booklet for them. We are basically at the beginning of FMP season, and they can be spent directly with farmers. We match all of these benefits dollar for dollar. It's also important to note that that our matching dollars are good for any SNAP eligible foods. So not just fruits and vegetables, but they can buy, you know, their milk, their proteins, fish, etc., bread, anything for that family. Let's see. So benefits of MMM, right? We're multitasking. We're helping shoppers, we're helping farmers, we're helping markets. We provide a lot of technical assistance for farms and markets to you know, get on board with accepting SNAP benefits. It increases their diversity at their markets. It makes market spaces equitable. It also gives shoppers, you know, a way to make decisions that they want for how autonomy. It gives them autonomy to make purchases that make sense for their families, as far as purchasing fresh fruits and vegetables and things that you know, their family wants to eat. And it also stretches their food dollars, growing their food budget. So you know, more access to fresh, healthy food. As far as like our numbers go, it's we're just now entering fiscal year 23, so we kind of have a grasp on where we are. Our incentives budget for the state is approximately 440,000 with potential for growth. We're going after some more grants, and this is also, we can continue this unlimited matching at all of our access points statewide, which right now we are at about 50 to 55 markets. We're still working through a few more. That means at least $880,000 will be potentially spent between benefits and Maryland market money, with over 600 farmers in our network. That, I mean, over $1 billion in SNAP and EBT is spent in Maryland each year alone. Like, we can shift all that money to farmers and small local food producers. As far as what's going on in Prince George's County, as of the 2022 sort of market season, we have these markets or food access points participating. They include both of the Capital Market locations, the Cheverly Community Market, Greenbelt Farmers Market, Riverdale Park. Hollywood is coming soon. We are also working with a new farm stand, again, that we do farmers markets, farm stands, and CSAs, so they're coming soon. I know that Crossroads isn't technically in Prince George's County, but they serve they're very close. They're on the borderline, right? And they a lot of Prince George's County community members visit that market. Very important to include in this list. So that's why they're here. We have more locations. You'll get this PowerPoint, so you it'll have all the links that you can click on, but also marylandmarketmoney.org. We have more locations there. I also have this flyer that's on the right. It's a real flyer, and if anyone is interested, I can share that with you. On the backside, it has eligible items and also some more information about our program. We have some dollars to help provide that resource, and also we have some rack cards, so if anyone is interested in those, like reading materials to hand out free of charge, let me know. Some other cool things that are happening in Prince George's County is Greater Baden Medical Services was mentioned earlier. They're actually holding, and it just ended an hour ago, a pop-up farmers market series this summer. It's featuring Schlegel Farms, and it's they're basically giving out the WIC FMNP booklet. So families who come and retrieve that resource can turn around and spend it right at the farmers market. And the way it's working, since this is at a farm stand, is essentially their order is half off. So instead of like doubling it and giving them tokens, if they spend $20, they're only charged 10. So it's also open for, just everyone to shop with their debit, credit, and cash. Unfortunately, this farmer doesn't accept SNAP, but we are working with Maryland SNAP Ed to get them online. So hopefully soon. So please share that. Check it out on Facebook. There's an event as well. Other initiatives that we're doing, we're looking to expand into grocery stores with a pilot this coming season. I always forget the name. One is in Oasis and the other is in Prince George's County. I'm sorry, I'm in a rush. But that's coming soon. I'm sure that I'll have more information to share with you whenever we actually get something more solidified. Same thing with our community fridge project. We're partnering with a few folks to sort of to make these fridges. The biggest thing with both of these is with MMM, where we're going to be buying the food from farmers to stock and paying. So not only is it like a community aid or community resource, but the farmers are getting paid for their donations as well. Okay, so this is how you can find us. Again, our website, marylandmarketmoney.org. I'm Christina. I do our external relations and development. You can contact me directly there, especially if you want any of our reading resources. And then I also have on the right all of our social media platforms. Please follow us. That's it. Thank you so much, Julie. I'm sorry for going so fast.
I'm sorry for rushing you through this. I'll just plug their social media and also their great newsletter. So sign up for all of those. It's really great content. So thanks for sharing all of this. And so there's also some comments in the chat if anyone wants to check that out.
Yeah.
And we'll share the slides after the presentation.
Yes, good food markets. Thank you so much, Bridget.
Thank you all. Okay, so with that, we're going to speed on to our advocacy updates. So actually, before I go on to that, does anyone have any quick questions for Christina? Going once, going twice. I know we're over, so everyone's looking to get off. Okay, so we're going to jump to advocacy updates super quick with JD Robinson from Maryland Hunger Solutions. So JD, I'll pass it to you.
Thanks, Julia, and I will try to take less than 2 minutes if I can. So first of which is that we will be soon circulating some sign-on letters for some federal legislation that is kind of slowly trickling its way through Congress, as well as sending out some notes from our national partners about how to gear up for next year's Farm Bill. Is the 5-year cycle of that legislation, and the Farm Bill is usually kind of the omnibus package where all nutrition programs, SNAP, school meals, everything under the sun is kind of discussed and set aside, and more standards and improvements are placed in that. So we're definitely going to start gearing up for it, and what parts you all can play with talking to local legislators and state legislators about how to influence that that bill package. The next thing I want to talk about is I'm sure you all have seen some news articles circulating around SNAP fraud and these skimming devices where people's benefits are being stolen. And we're looking for possible avenues and ways to replace those benefits. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of a tricky situation, as usually time when there are cases of fraud in those situations, they cannot be replaced. But we're taking a look at to see what some other outside of Maryland state advocates are doing in regards to restoring those benefits, whether they're using state funds or other local funds. And that's something that we're hoping to get geared up for the remainder of summer. So that's kind of it for right now. I'm trying to keep it short, but yeah, back to you. Thanks.
Appreciate that, JD. And we're happy to share anything else via our email and notes. So JD, feel free to email me anything following this call. So with that, we're going to kind of wrap it up. Again, apologies for being so late, but I just wanted to briefly share a few things that I've listed under community announcements. So was it last week, last week, we had a candidates forum that FEC hosted for candidates running for county council. We have the recording linked in the notes. If anyone wasn't able to join us, it was a great discussion, and it was great to hear about kind of how all the candidates plan to address food systems issues and hunger and health. So check out the recording if you weren't able to make it. Our next call will be on August 4th from 1 to 2 p.m. I'll be sending out the information for that shortly. And again, I'm just going to plug this July 22nd call at 10 a.m. with Find Help to help all of you sign up as a new program on Find Help to have your information listed and help your clients find accurate and timely information to access resources. So again, thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. We'll try to keep on time for our next call. I'm happy to stay on the line for a couple minutes if anyone has any remaining questions. But with that, we'll wrap it up. So again, thank you and hope to see you either on the July 22nd call or in August. Have a great rest of your day. Bye now.
Hi, Julia. This is Lori Bledsoe. Can I stay on the line for a minute?
Yeah, sure. If anyone has any questions, feel free to stay on. I'll keep it open. And I'm just going to stop the recording.
Okay.